Hey YouTubers, Flying Brian here. I've got a project today. I've got to replace the radiator in this 1990 Ford Ranger. First things first, open the hood and drain the coolant. I don't know if you can see it. There is a petcock right there. I'm going to crawl under the vehicle here in a moment. Turn that, and that'll allow the coolant to begin draining out the bottom of the radiator. Oh yeah, it's coming undone by hand. Alright, I've crawled down underneath, opened up that petcock to let it drain a little bit more effectively. I'm going to take the radiator cap off, and that'll allow no suction to build up, and it will allow the coolant to come out a little bit better. Now, while that is all draining, I've got to get all this shrouding, air ducts, and the fan removed from the front of the engine. Alright, what I've done is taken these two securing screws off the top of this air filter box, remove the plug and the vent, that whole thing comes off. And the next step is to get this fan, radiator fan out, there's a nut down here. It's kind of hard to see. Actually, there's a note right here. Right hand thread on fan clutch. So I've actually already loosened it with a big crescent wrench. Got it turned, and all I got to do is just turn this off. I've got the fan off the pulley. I'm going to let it just sit in the shroud. Next thing I want to do is get off all the radiator hoses. There's the top hose, the bottom hose, all these vent hoses. Original factory clamps. That's coming right off. It's amazing after 23 years that it comes off as easy as it does. Okay, that's off. I have succeeded in removing the lower radiator hose, and I forgot this is an automatic transmission. There are two transmission coolant lines, one there and one there. Those also have to come off. There we go, not too bad. Two top retaining screws, and I believe it sits in the slots down the bottom. There's one. Let me get the other one. Alright, my lower transmission coolant line is now removed. And I believe all I got to do is remove that bolt, an identical one on the other side, and this whole radiator should lift up and out of the front of the truck. So I've got the bolt out here, the bolt out here. Oh boy, it just drops out. Looks like it's going to come right out now. Oh yeah. Let me get my fan. There's my fan. There's the rest of the water coming out. And the radiator is out. Boy, there's a lot of gunk down here in the bottom. Alright, there's my old radiator with a small hole in it. There's the new one. I've got to take the shroud off, those two fittings for the transmission fluid lines, and just move everything over to the new one. And that one's on. Put a little bit of pipe dope on them to seal them. Alright, before I drop in the radiator, I'm going to put the lower radiator hose on where it comes out of the water pump and get that clamp nice and tight, because it's a booger to get to once the radiator is in place. I'm going to set this fan in here. Ease the whole thing down. There it is. Set this. Radiator is in. Alright, let's get these transmission coolant lines back in. Okay, that's good. Let me get the bottom one. Alright, next step, let's get this upper radiator hose on, main radiator hose. Okay, I've got the fan started on that thread on the fitting on the front of the pulley. Nice thing about this, let me get that light out of the way, is you really don't have to torque it because the engine's going to turn and actually thread into the fan completely. Now, I guess you're going to have to take my word for it. I'm going to crawl under the truck and put on the lower radiator hose. Lower hose is on. Let's get the air box and air duct back on. And we are almost done, or I am almost done. Full of coolant. Take it for a ride, get all the air bubbles out. Make sure it doesn't leak. But thanks for watching.